I'm Heather Lyon. I am an installation, performance, and video artist, and a mother.
My mom said that when I was born, she would come into my crib and I was always smiling at beings, she said, that were in the room that she couldn't see, but she knew I was communing with all the time. And I believe that's a capacity we all have, so I'm not unique, but you lose sight of it.
My name is Johanna Franzel. I am a biodynamic craniosacral practitioner. I'm also a mom and a teacher and a writer and someone who knows autoimmune disease from the inside.
Being outside in the beginning was a little bit overwhelming, but if I could get my head completely on the ground and close my eyes and just like feel the wind across my skin and feel the sunlight, I would feel better. And then as I started to get better, I would open my eyes and watch what was happening. I watched a rose open slowly over the course of a week and really noticing the passage of time. The conscious choice to slow down is one of the ways that I feel like I'm able to be in tune with myself and with other people and with the environment around me. I'm interested in doing that in my work as a way to build connection. And when I'm doing public performances, it's an invitation to the audience to enter into that kind of meditative, trance-like state in the hopes that they can experience a moment of quiet and calm and connection.
For me, witnessing goes back to church. You would raise your hand in church and you need to testify something, and the whole church would be the witness of that with you. And people would moan with you, groan with you, things like that. Or yeah, oh sister, we got like that whole thing. And this was like a confession, but it was a communal confession or burden. And the whole church, the idea of that is supposed to hold you and witness you. And the idea is that without your judgment. So the role of the witness in that moment was really about, as I'm witnessing you, also checking myself. Maybe we do just need to pause, and maybe we do just need to chillax for a couple of moments, and in that permission. And when I take those breaths, actually, I feel it's sending healing waves intergenerationally way back to times when my grandmothers and grandfathers, aunts, uncles, people didn't have that breath. They didn't have that moment to chillax. So I feel like there's a healing happening too when I engage that parasympathetic in that way of just like, I battled through stages of deep depression and really would pray earnestly to go home. And I was really, I didn't know, I knew the only way to go home would mean this life would cease. And I remember the pain sitting in front of my ancestor altar and would really wail because I wanted to go home, because the pain of living in this earth and feeling alone, and like I just couldn't fathom the destruction of what we do. Like I just was like, I'm so done. Like I just, nope, can't do this. And so now it's kind of sad the other way. It's like, maybe I'll get 75 years of Earth, whatever life planet that is, but that's like a blink, you know? And now it's like, I don't want to go home. And that moves me.
It's like you would never say to a newborn, like, oh, she's so perfect, but I wish her eyelashes were longer. You know, like we're not trying to, we know that imprint with babies where we don't generally feel anything, but like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. Just look at her. Look at exactly who she is. And so we want to bring that quality to the adult self in some ways, like, oh, wow, you survived. That's amazing. And you are exactly who you are. And how do we give you so much permission and so much witness that you can have different choices around exactly how you move in your life now? You know, we don't have a lot of practice in this culture for what it is to be with someone and offer a total yes to everything that they are showing us without trying to fix it, talk it away, placate it, offer some sort of platitude. There's a lot of parallels in grief work and in health work. You know, our job in witness is to kind of like, I think I said this before, but like just get so wide and inclusive and tender with all the material that's surfacing without needing to rearrange it or make it pretty. Because what's astonishing for me is when we offer that kind of space, it does actually start to move on its own often. It does find an organic organization. And that feels very different in the body and in the personality than being told that we need to make it just so in order to be acceptable. So, you know, I do want to acknowledge that like I wouldn't be here without Western medicine. Like it saved my life at many, many desperate junctures. It is really good at keeping you not dead. But it has very little to say or teach about how to actually live. And so that for me is probably the fundamental difference between the kind of practices that I gravitate towards offering, doing, like both receiving and offering. You know, that really focus on like, what does it mean to live well and arrive fully in your life?
At the end of this past May, I was at the barn. I've started riding horses again. It brought me a lot of joy when I was younger. I was just doing a practice ride. We were cantering and I was feeling like all is good in the world. I had just seen bluebird land on the fence and there was this beautiful light coming through the trees and it was the spring. All of a sudden, something shifted and the horse started to fall, so I went down with him. I've been going to Curtis Cove since I was a baby, and I have memories of being there as a little girl, swimming in the water, climbing on the rocks. It's a really magical, healing place for me. Maybe a month in, I started to swim. People would give me rides to the ocean. That was the only time when I felt like myself again. And basically all of my symptoms were gone when I was in the water. I wouldn't choose to go through this again, but there are so many gifts that I have received through the process and continue to. I don't feel like it's over. It's transforming who I am. So much of that is about love, love for myself, gratitude and love for where I am, wherever I am, whatever I'm experiencing, there's always a gift.